Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everybody. I'm your host, Sir Stephen Top of the Hat the Third, at your service. Well, I'm now going to give you last details because I want you to be open-minded. I want you to be clear-headed because there's anagrams in everything, in every detail, right? There are people around you that may put you in the right position why the Coopers are partly involved, which is true, which I'm partly saying is true because it's accurately true because I'm not bullshitting, right? I'm not going to be put in a position where my family is going to be discriminated for the rest of their lives to the T, right? The hat, the hats have returned, yes. As I stated previously in the last podcast, that's definitely on the true list. The return of the hats, we always returned. We always been there watching eyes and ears everywhere and knocking you out. Right? We want you to be understanding on this because there's a lot of bloody damn truth to everything. Right? There are people that link back with people, right? We want to get that down on paper because you have to get everything back in check. But I'm also doing this because I need you to fully understand it's real life, not fiction. Now, the reason that is because there's a little party. Let's just say somebody else knows the secret besides me, right? Right? I'm telling you, you're meddling with fire at this point, right? I want you to fully understand you screwed up. You screwed up so bloody badly since the 2019 issue. That's way out of alignment because you had a nurse in there that was out of order, basically. Right? So that was Diva Diesel's wife. That's end of story, right? The anagram that I'm about to give you is a little bit tricky than some, right? A lot of this will be straight to the T, and it's always going to go back to one person, right? But there's actually six people involved, right? A lot of you have to realise my family had to start somewhere, right? In life, in London, right? Which is true. You can bloody check it out because Audrey won't lie, nor would I, right? If Audrey was alive, he would not be happy with the North Norfolk Railway treating my family with dishonour or disrespect, right? I want you to understand that, which is true. People knew it for a very long time. Long, long time coming. It's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. There were a lot of people involved, not just your family and my employees on top. Right? Grow up. Right? When I say these things, this is realistic. It's true. It's not going to lie. There's no lies or deceits. Right? There are people's lives at risk, and there's a lot of lives on the line. Right? There's 8 billion people that know the truth, and you are saying they're a bunch of cuckoo heads. You get out of the system now, because at this moment, I've been honest with you. I've been truthful with you. From the day the podcast started, I was telling you the truth from day one. Right? There are a lot of people involved, besides my grandfather Dick Manson and my grandfather George Henry Cooper, but there are more people in place. Then you have my, obviously it goes through Robert Cossey, who died on the railway on October the 19th, 1934, which this is year of 2024. Right? Herbert is dead. He's gone and buried in 1984. No, in 2001. Right? October. Near enough, anyway. But I don't want to go into details completely realistically, but I'm telling you, the M&GN JR has a lot of connection in the family, right? A lot of people know it, and a lot of truth is going to come out of this. The M&GN Joint Railway is run by family members of the past, present, and future, right? There are a lot of people that don't realise the Coopers are majorly involved in this. Right? You have to take it as a good sign omen in some aspects, and it's all bloody true from the bottom up. The the anagrams that I've been put in front of my face and always in my face, and I know every trick in the book you playing dangerously or hopefully or being nice to everybody or whatever. It adds up as it goes, right? Because Herbert can't be added, obviously. He actually is, right? But he also added his brother's name on top, Robert, which is true. Then it goes through Herbert as well, Cossie. They're both Cossie names, so don't worry about that. Then you got my grandfather and my mother, so that's George and Joanna Cooper, obviously. Then you have Margaret and Zena Morgan. Now work that out. And that's the anagram of the M&GN joint railway. So you're meddling with loads of bloody powerful people, right? Of course we have connections as well, right? Who I cannot name because they don't want to do nothing with the railway no more, right? I'm telling you now, I'm putting it on a black and white paper, right? The Coopers started it all, yes. Two chains of it going down the line, right? Going from 369, right? There's two nines in play, yes, but there's actually two sixes. Why? Because it has to be a six in play to go forward, right? In 1936, the plan was set in motion for me to pick up, right? You don't want to believe that? Well, watch out because there's more anagrams coming your way, right? People know people, right? People have connections everywhere, right? The other one, right, besides my grandfather on my father's, on my mother's side, right, is besides Herbert and Robert, there's also a Hat and a Manson in play. So, being the Manson, being blood related, obviously, ding, 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 right? Three letters actually link up to the family, plus the fourth one, right? There's Herbert, there's George, there's also Robert, and there's also Manson and Morgan. Why? It goes back to that bloody department, doesn't it, as the last details? I warned you. Coopers always have a backup plan. Right? When I looked at my grandfather's photograph of all the four men in play, there was one missing. Ding ding, which is the sixth one on the line. George Henry Cooper. Now wake up and smell the damn coffee on that. Right? So there's a Morgan in play. There's my mother in play and myself. So it's true, it's logic, and it's facts. Get real. We own the M&GN. We own that department of the railway line because we know what's involved. Plus the Marriotts on top, right? Because they're friends of the family, connections of the family. So we're not disgracing them. So while you lot are all like dreaming like, what the fuck, he's done a lot of hard work, we're just bloody damn true. You're getting realistic, you're getting facts, you're getting truth, you're getting logic. I said, don't mess with me, Cena, or my mother, because you will find the other side of us. Big time style. There's three of us again, light up the fuel. I said, you don't want to piss off my mother, and you don't want to piss me off, or Zena Morgan for that matter. Why? Because we're blood connected to the Coopers. So, a plan was set in motion to stop you from fucking up ever again. So, every time you screw up, I rewise to bloody recorrect problems, right? Which is true. You see, there's a reason why there's a lot of people's names involved, right? A lot of people will say, right, okay, a Morgan, a Manson, a Cooper, and the Cossie all played in all of this. All they had to do is then add in one thing, right? Then you got a Linford, obviously a Grizzly connection, and then finalise it with with a Godfrey. Now wake up and smell the damn coffee. You know, it all goes back to my mother and my family. So grow up. When it all comes down in black and white, it makes me upset because I found my distant cousin. Right? You are like saying shit. People know about me. Family, clues, answers, connections. And you lot are about to get a big fucking dose of justice on top of that. Because I'm not going to be doing this all night, every day, every time of day and work it all out. For you guys, you should have known that from day bloody one. 1958 is the starting point. But in the day, while you lot were all bloody being booing up and crying up wolf, when Herbert found out there was a family member connected to mine by Margaret, obviously, my great auntie Lily's daughter, having her daughter, bang, there we go again. Third gen comes into power. Then my grandfather had 5 fucking daughters. Susan, Christine, and then you've got Sally and Jenny, and then my mother. My mother was the last one of the lot. Right? In 1959 on the 14th of January. Wake up! But at the same time, someone is about 16 years younger than her. So work it out backwards. It all adds up. My mother keeps giving me the clues and the answers herself, but she doesn't realise how and why and where and when. I said it's all adding up. When it's mine, it's 11 years ahead for her and me. Why? Because we're normally 10 years apart. So get real. You know, you can't get rid of us that very quickly either because you're not allowed to. It's against the law. So work it out. The return of the Hatts have finally arrived. So when you think of the Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway, it's all connected to the Coopers, the Hatts, and even the Morgans. So grow up, even the Cossey family. Why? Because it starts in 1958 before it goes forward. The Godfrey is actually a safeguard. Then the Websters, then going downhill. So it works down, then it reverses itself. So everything is getting recorrected. So wake up, smell that lovely coffee, and realise you've got facts in your face. If my grandfather was alive today, both of them, including my great uncle, they would not be impressed with all the fuck ups he made. Right? I'm already aware of them, but I'm not intervening straight away. I'm just passing clues, answers, diagrams. Do you want me to give you proof? My great uncle's birthday's on the 21st of October, which is true. Then his brother died on the 19th of October, 1934. Right? Then go forward from there on in. And then a year later, you lost Sir Topham Senior. Then it becomes the next one down the line will be Sir Topham the First, obviously, being my grandfather. Then it finalises with my father, Charles Topham the Second, and then adding me with the third. So it all adds up correctly. The Morgan is basically a blood relation distantly. So go backwards to the bloody 1900s, early 1900s. It will all add up. And then you will be saying, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And I warned you. I told you. You won't listen. It all comes back in your face and eventually it will add up. In the end of the day, the M&GN joint railway is not just funded by its own name. Marriott may run it, yes. William Marriott is one of my connections, but my best friend in all, I would not marry that department of family in the end of the day. My Sturtop and that senior lived for 90 years. So did William Marriott, 90 years. Wake up and smell the damn coffee and watch the pattern go through. You know, in the day, you're meddling with the future, you're meddling with time, and you're meddling with yourselves because your descendants will get killed in the process. I don't like it to happen, nor do I. We're all on the same boat, we're all on the same route, and we're on the same passage. Just grow up. When it all unfolds in natural course, it all makes sense to anybody else. But at the end of the day, you're messing your lives about because you're thinking, oh, this is a load of hooey. I said it isn't. The only thing you have to realise, everything is anagrammed from beginning of time. So grow up and learn a few things. You might actually realise, shit, this man is, myself personally, has given you whatever you needed. I just cannot see the Norfolk Railway get back on its 2 feet too properly. Then you will ask why. You know, there's a secret among secrets that I'm not allowed at liberty to give. But Lady Hatt has been found, yes. But, like I said, Cooper's, Morgan's, then it goes back to me. Why? Because it was destined to be set in motion that way. It's going to work that way. It cannot change. When you know something about your movements or your facial expressions, it tells the full story of your life. Right? Wherever I go, people know things. Right? So if you think I wasn't joking the last time, I am not. I will not joke about the facts, the truth, or the logic in this. In the day, it all goes back to the Cooper family because Lily had her daughter Margaret, then Margaret had Sina, then my grandfather had my got married and had and got my mother into the picture. Then I became the third gen, and then I became a Hat. Period. So you got the full truth all in one bucket. I hope this is it now because I won't be giving out any more because there is a lot more involved the rest of this timeline that explains everything else. All you have to do is play it correctly. Thank you very much. In every angle.